you like a, treat you like a, respect you like a.
Hello, my name is Héctor Hernández and welcome to my first feedback video on which we will be talking about the analysis of the team of strikers on the class of balance and social dignity and their take over Sigmund Bauman and the analysis and presentation of his theory and his relationship to this world of balance and social justice and dignity. So let's begin. So in order to start our feedback video, we need to emphasize that we will go from general aspects to most specific aspects. So we will first start talking about the dynamic of the team and the quality of their presentation. We need to emphasize that the presentation was really good design, which made it a visually attractive presentation and which made it easy to understand the concepts they were talking about. For example, on their take on their biography, on their take over their quotes, or on their take over the relevant authors that really marked Bauman's work. So this was really well made, and one of the key points that their presentation successful was the inclusion of a video. They were the only team which made an inclusion of a video, which made an example over how liquid love is presented in our modern society, which was really helpful for the audience, for us to understand their concepts. So really good point for that. Also, the dynamic of the team was really good, on which it wasn't really monotonous or in a traditional way of presentation, in which they were like sometimes people presented in a certain order, sometimes not, and it really felt really dynamic. And also their speech was really good. But not everything is perfect. I actually made notes of some aspects that really need to be worked on more in order to make their presentations better. So let's take a look at them. So first point of the notes, they really need to work on the specification of their social problematic. As they really said during the presentation, they were trying to focus on liquid love, but they didn't have a social problematic to attend with. Even several classes after their presentation, they didn't know on which social problematic they should focus in. So that's one bad aspect. Okay, second issue is that the quotes need to be of an external author talking about Bauman's theory. And in the presentation, they had some quotes, but the quotes were of Bauman itself and not of an external author talking or discussing about Bauman's ideas and theory. So third problematic is that the quotes didn't have sources. This is a major problem on all the presentations because none of the three presentations on the first day had sources on their quotes or in the information. They have it until the end. So that's a really weak point of all the presentations and really need to be worked on further and future presentations. Okay, so last but not least is that some parts were structured in a question answer scheme, and this is a point that the teacher actually said that she didn't want to see in the presentations. For example, in the first time that it happened on the representation of Bauman is on which is his current relevance in the study of balance, dignity, and social justice in relevance to Bauman. So this was the first time that they had this problem, and the second time is on the part of authors who he established a dialogue with, and which they schematized it in a question and answer scheme. In the other parts, they managed to do it well. They just had this issue two times. Okay, so after analyzing some of the deficiencies that the team had during their presentation, it is really relevant to analyze the information that they exposed and some of the strengths that they had during this presentation of information. So they explained really well the topics of liquid modernity and solid modernity, which are really relevant to understand Bauman and the theories that he exposed. They gave antitheses with the solid modernity, they gave real life examples, and they also gave a video to explain liquid love. And they also gave quotes of Bauman, of his works, and yeah, that was a really good management of information to explain the Bauman's concepts. So also they managed to explain really good correlation of authors of the same era and Bauman. So let's take a look at that.
So some of the authors that they really analyzed and actually correlated with Bauman's theory is Hannah Arendt, Ferdinand Antoni, or I don't know how to say it, Anthony Giddens, Gustavo Tizar, for example. They combined and they're related their theories, for example, with Anthony Giddens, where they talk about modernity and how unstable and changing it is. And they actually performed a really deep analysis on how these authors correlate and actually collaborate in order to create their theory. So that's a really good aspect of research and explanation.
So, in conclusion, Stricker's team had a really good development of information during their presentation of Bauman, and despite some deficiencies being taken out of the presentation, overall the presentation was really good. Thank you for your attention. This was my first feedback video.